How y'all doing? Is anybody else listening like I am? Ladies, don't sweat. We listen. Okay, hope I should smell me. I'm sorry, or you're welcome.
We love you.
Here, take these. Pass one, I guess, to the next person next to you. If you already have one, I guess just pass it on. All right, my name is Jordan Hughes. I am this year's president for the Feminist Majority Leadership Alliance. Yes, behind. We're a chapter in Denton at UNT, and I wrote a little something for you all. I want to preface this by saying, yes, I will be covering rape and sexual assault from cisgendered, heteronormative, quote-unquote, standard, but not entirely. Understand that our queer and transgendered brethren and sisters encounter the same fate of attack, be it sexually or physically, at a disproportionate rate.
That's true. That's true.
When we live in a world where Katy Perry on the airwaves for millions of young adolescents to discover that, yes, it is okay to be a victim, awaiting abduction, only to have the braggadocio of Kanye West retort with, I'm a probe you, then I disrobe you, see I abducted you, so I tell you what to do. When we live in a world where this rhetoric is physically and publicly tolerated and makes money, I know that shit ain't feminist.
Yeah.
When we live in a world where an officer of the law in a safety forum addressing students informs them that, quote unquote, women should avoid dressing like sluts in order not to be victimized, only to be prefaced by, I've been told I shouldn't say this. When we live in a world where this rhetoric still exists, a sign from the Toronto Slutwalk read, stop calling us sluts and we'll stop calling you pigs.
Yeah!
That's when I know shit really ain't feminist. When we live in a world where we are tired of being judged by our sexuality and feeling unsafe as a result, when we blame the victim for their misconduct but don't question the perpetrator, by looking a certain way we welcome violations of our bodies. We ask for it. Are you kidding me? That really ain't feminist. When we live in a world that denies the female erotic, a world in which, according to sociologist Ira Rice, applies men are allowed to engage in coitus for any reason, women only if in love or engaged. Where we lack the language of sex-positive words for those who engage in sexual activity, I know that shit ain't feminist. When we live in a world where men rarely parade around in gay outfits and say, look how gay I look, to other men unless they want to get beat up, and yet women could wear what she considers herself to be slutty outfit and say, look how slutty I look, to her fellow non-slutty friends and get a couple of laughs and that's it, I know shit ain't real and that's not feminist. When we reclaim the word slut to use it against men, it tends to get used as a criticization of a habit. When we word the word slut to describe a woman, it's almost always understood as a dismissal of what she's saying, what she's doing, or even her worth to the speaker as a person. It's a lack of respect, man. It's a reduction of her behavior, and her personality and attire to a singular, socially condemning identity. I definitely know that shit ain't feminist. The goal of this walk is to reclaim the word slut, to call attention to the negative and slut-shaming narratives pervasive in our society, and to advocate for a woman's right to be sexually active and mobile. So, for the feminist world I hope we all idealize, and not just when the revolution sparks, let's understand that the first thing to realize when talking about women slut-shaming each other is that the infighting among oppressed groups is a necessary part for keeping those groups oppressed. Ergo, women are encouraged through internalized sexism to distrust each other and fight for male approval.
That's right.
We need to reappropriate public displays of our bodies. We need to not equate enjoying sex with attracting sexual assault. We need to not judge people for their sexual proclivities as long as it's consensual and mutually pleasurable. We need to realize that men's capacity to do two things at once is possible. Be aroused by what they see while honoring the humanity of the woman whose body attracts their eyes.
Yep.
The most pernicious of all lies about men is that because of their makeup, lust and empathy can't coexist within them. Don't tell us how to dress. Teach people not to rape.
Yep.
Men harass and rape not because of biological imperative, but because of cultural permission.
That's right. That's right.
To paraphrase George W. Bush, we treat men with the soft bigotry of low expectations. Of course, the real price for those low expectations is paid by women, who become responsible for managing and redirecting what we refuse to expect men to manage for themselves.
Yep.
Being assaulted isn't about what you wear, it's not even about sex, but using a pejorative term to rationalize inexcusable behavior that creates an environment in which it's okay to blame the victim. When women